and welcome to How to Become a Better Photographer. My name's Bernie Raffi. I'm a portrait and ex-wedding photographer based in the UK. If you enjoy taking photos but feel you're not making the best use of your fantastic camera and that your images could do with some improvement, then you're in for a treat. These videos are for you. How often have you taken what you thought was a great photo, but when you got back and looked at it on your computer, somehow the scene didn't look quite as great as you remembered it? You know it looked wonderful at the time. You were there. You remember what it was like. But for some reason, all you've managed to do is record the scene and just create a snapshot. Well, why does that happen? Let me give you a clue. It's not the camera. Who can it be? That's a tough one. Well, yes, of course. It's the person behind the camera. The biggest limiting factor to the quality of your photos is you. And the chances are you're not making the best use of light, composition, and maybe posing if you have family and friends in the photos. Although like many other courses, I'll be teaching you about the various camera settings, apertures, shutter speeds, ISO, exposure compensation, focusing, depth of field and so on, this course will also take you much further than that. It will show you many of the neat lighting, composition and posing tricks that professionals use to make more dramatic, creative and polished images. And many of those tricks don't even involve changing camera settings. For example, just by changing the angle of the camera, you can go from a snap like this of a local church to something a little more dramatic like this. And yes, it's the same church and the same settings. Or by moving your subject just a few feet, go from an unflattering portrait like this to a photo that you'll love and want to keep. There are all sorts of tips and tricks here. Most films only last 5 or 6 minutes, and each one demonstrates just one tip. There's also a longer 20-minute film on landscapes, a great tie-up with Barbara Fleming, a fabulous landscape photographer. Her images are just wonderful, and we take you through a selection of about 20 of her photos, explaining her thinking behind each shot. If you're fairly new to digital photography, you should enjoy practically every single film here. But there is something for everyone, so even if you're an enthusiast and know some of the more basic information, the chances are there will be tips and tricks here that are completely new to you. Finally, as you'll see from the course comments, my highly trained operatives are standing by to answer your questions. No, seriously, it's just me. But I'm always happy to answer your queries. Feel free to post questions, or you can even email me privately if you prefer.